Hey everyone, this feels weird. It's a new format, it's a new platform. It's just about time I started to expand. So obviously, first video is about the masculine. I've had literally, I've been inundated with messages from the masculine collective to just kind of share this core message that obviously, which is how they found me, which is about their purpose and literally being a man. The reason why I'm literally having to share this is because I'm having to witness in the world men being so distracted by one, the feminine, and they're not finding themselves and they're leaving themselves so unfulfilled that because they're seeking their own essence of self in relationships and in things externally. And ultimately, if you've read The Alchemist, you'll know that finding your own treasure is about finding who you are. And as a man, he needs to individuate. He needs to discover his soul. And that is basically embarking on a journey that is purifying his life of things that distract him and having this one pointed focus towards finding his own kind of kingdom, finding himself, finding his kingship, and being able then to manifest a feminine who is his queen and can basically help support him on that journey. Because otherwise, with unfulfilled men running around, they're ultimately gonna end up damaging the feminine. And how the feminine is meant to navigate through this world is ultimately she shows up as a mirror to the masculine to reflect his strengths, but also his weaknesses, to basically show him what's holding him back. She's going to express everything that you avoid in yourself. And this is why a lot of the time with men, they get deeply frustrated with the feminine because they keep coming into contact with women that they manifest, pull their energy into through sexual exchange, and then her nervous system transmutes that energy and she becomes the transmutator of that energy, and she becomes the very expression of the things that are holding you back. But a lot of the time, men are not consciously aware of this fact, and they basically end up blaming the feminine for the same cycles they come into over and over and over again. But that very thing that's holding you back is also the very thing that's going to help you on your journey. It is helping you, it is showing it to you so you can help purify the ego to find the real soul. This it's not only just for men, but it's also for women. Like, you need to see your relationships as mirrors, but specifically in this video, I'm literally talking about men. Because there's problems in our collective, there's problems in our relationships, there's problems with society at whole, because we're not using our relationships as portals and gateways to healing. Now, the first step for the masculine is basically he needs to stop looking for women. He needs to stop trying to find and feed his ego through the feminine. He needs to shift everything so he can have this one pointed focus towards his path. What I find with a lot of men, and you have to really be aware and you have to be really honest with yourself if this is happening in your life, is if one relationship breaks down or if one connection breaks down in your life and you're then going to replace that energy or going to seek another feminine, you are basically just draining your own energy into the portal of the feminine. Like, the feminine energy of the world is feeding on you, and you are literally serving yourself up on a platter to be depleted and drained. And it's not the feminine's fault, it's what you're seeking in the first place, because you're lacking like a mindset that is based in abundance and growth and strength and courage, and instead just being an avoidant little boy who is literally, it's pathetic. It's honestly pathetic, because if you cannot commit to yourself and if you cannot commit to your own path, How dare you even think that you have the audacity to commit to a feminine that which ultimately she can be your greatest strength, but you need to approach her with the right energy in the first place, because whatever you pour into the feminine, you will get out. I have been a woman personally who has helped men build their own careers, and I've also been literally a troublemaker and a drama queen in relationships as well. The difference is how I've been approached, because I've then started to transmute energy and reflect the things that are literally holding this person back. So for men, abstaining from sex. Abstaining from sex gives you the ability to have clarity, yeah? Your ability to not be distracted by the body urges of the ego, because the lowest three centers, and specifically the sacral center, which is literally where you pour out energy, and through the root you pour out energy through the sexual expression. You can abstain and draw that energy up to the higher centers, whether it be the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown, all of them really. Then you gain clarity and you start to listen to the true voice within. Not the voice that's led by the urges to have sex and to just play around and drain yourself into pleasure, because pleasure can come in all forms. Like, this is another example of the man going out every weekend, literally going out clubbing or going out and seeking himself through financial gain. Because ultimately, if you're trying to seek success to make yourself feel better about yourself, that's also a representation of feeding into the feminine. Because if you should already on this journey, at the very start of the journey, feel good about who you are. So what you're seeking is coming from a place of abundance. It's not coming from a place of lack. Because if you're moving from a place of lack, you're going to attract lack and you're going to exacerbate lack. And it doesn't matter how much success that you get in your life, because of the starting place was a faulty foundation in the beginning, you are going to manifest situations and people and dynamics that are going to exacerbate that sense of lack in self. So the first thing is first, getting connected to the heart space, getting connected to the soul. Then what you will start to find is you'll start to manifest situations that are leading you down a path where you're ultimately finding self. Then what you do is you use the world as the mirror, because the feminine is the world. The feminine is the mirror. The feminine is your ability to penetrate the world. This is why men with their penises point outwards. You're meant to penetrate the world with your masculine force, your masculine solar power. And if you're literally just draining it into black holes, you're never gonna end up seeing what your power can manifest up to. You're never gonna find it, because you're just wasting your own potential, to be honest. So when you're using the world as your mirror, you're literally using your sword of truth to fight your own demons. And those demons will come through tough situations. Those demons will come up through women who are trying to seduce you. You're coming into contact with maybe deals that look good financially, but you know, you have to kind of sell your soul to the devil, so to speak, to get that money. And you know from your internal voice the things that are right for you and the things that are not. You will always know, but it's whether you have the strength to abstain from things that you know deep down are not aligning with your purpose. And your purpose should be yourself. And then you grow outwards, and you then add people and situations to that purpose. So for example, when you've got to a certain extent where your purpose is built to a certain extent and it has momentum, and then you meet a woman who you've met on the journey, you haven't searched for her, you've met on the journey, you've literally come into contact with the woman that the universe has gone, this person, God has provided this person for you at this point in your life because there's something that you can learn from her. There is something where you can grow from her. But if you're constantly sitting with a misogynistic mindset and you're just out here blaming women and just going, this is why women this and this is why women that, then you're failing the point. You are literally failing the point in the first place. She can help you grow. It's like always the phrase that I use. When in chess, if you lose the queen, you don't lose the game. But it is exceptionally harder to win without her. The queen is the most powerful piece on the board, but she doesn't determine the outcome of the game. But she is a powerful force that you can use to help you on your purpose. If you keep continuously coming into the same cycles over and over and over again, and you're not being aware of what patterns are showing up, if there is a pattern in your life, that pattern is reflecting yourself. Because the feminine is either the trap or the liberator. It depends on how you approach it. It's the same with any woman. How you approach any woman, are you pouring good, intentional energy into her where she's going to transmute and help you? Or are you pouring egoic energy of just trying to search for something that you're lacking in her? Because she's going to literally give you what you deserve. That's why they say karma is because it's the feminine force of the world. This is Maya. We can have enlightenment to move through the world with a sense of intuition, clarity, and consciousness. If we're using consciousness, it's literally a game. But if you're being dragged in by the illusion of the ego, good luck to you. Men, start abstaining. Start looking at your journey and your path and start wandering the path from a place of humble, as a student, and submit to something higher than yourself, which is literally the universe itself. If something is coming into your life, you need to look at the clues and you need to get connected to yourself. But abstaining is the first thing that you need to do to listen to yourself. You need to listen to what's important to you. You need to listen to your own inner narratives. You need to listen to the past and what are the cycles that have happened in the past. Where could have you have done better? Where could have you, instead of seeing this thing as an obstacle, because you know, as a man, that whenever you come up to a tough situation and you overcome it and you grow in self-esteem, you grow in confidence, but you also grow in love too. You grow in love for the feminine, because if it wasn't for the feminine and the test that she provides, and also the keys to unlock your freedom, then without her, you're nothing. But if you're literally approaching her from the wrong place, which is, as I said already, approaching from the egoic self, she is then trapping you in the essence of hell within, basically. So I'm going to expand more on deeper meanings between the feminine and the masculine, but I really wanted to start with just a core message on why it's so important for women to be able, also as a woman, you need to be looking for a man who's already started his journey on his purpose and he knows what's important to him. Because you will know deep down, female intuition will always know that something's not right. And you become transmuting that and you start to become the very expression of his own inner energy. Don't let a man gaslight you out of your own state of expression, because whether it's like him that's not purified a certain aspect of himself. Like, you have to remember that you are divine and this is your divine role. The world reflects our own inner state. We reflect the inner state of the masculine. And this is why, as women, we can't overload ourselves with a lot of masculine energy. We can only really submit to one if we're really wanting to enlighten ourselves, because you can then be transmuting multiple energies at once, and it's very confusing and very kind of disconcerting from yourself. I don't know whether even if that's a word, but you can distract yourself from yourself by having multiple energies exist within you. So as a woman, finding one man who's on his purpose, who knows exactly where he wants to go, who has a vision for his life, and when he's energetically tied to you and he's coming from a place of, because he wants the best for himself, he's going to do the best by you. Because it's ultimately, it's an energetic exchange, and that's how men need to see with their relationships with their women, is because you want the best for yourself, you're going to do the best by your partner, you're going to persevere, you're going to be able to come up against the mirror of each other and persevere and be able to grow. The relationships that you end up in can either be traps of literally cycles of endless trauma, or they can be liberators to finding your own heaven on earth. The choice is yours. It's just dependent on how you overpower your own emotional states and your own egoic urges. And a woman needs to use her emotion as her intuition to feed you power. That's what she does, but you give back to her, because without her, you see, she's the moon, she lights up the path in darkness. You are the sun, you have the long-term vision. That's the difference. And without one another, it is so hard to be able to grow. But men, if you're pouring yourself into multiple women, you are basically keeping her in succubus energy, because she needs to be able to energetically protect herself, because what you're doing in the first place is from the wrong place anyway. Pay attention to when you get into relationships and when you come from this place of like honoring love for the feminine, how much your life grows. And when you've come from a place of just like, oh, uncertainty and lack of direction, she feels that, and watch how that manifests in your life. Watch how that manifests in your life. Watch you lose money. Watch you lose opportunities because you don't deserve them in the first place. Why is the divine feminine of this world going to give you blessings if you are not approaching her butterflies with reverence and respect in the first place? She's the divine mother, and she will protect us by allowing the world to show you why you should be moving from deep reverent respect of yourself and others. There is so much esoteric, like hidden knowledge in this world. But the most important thing, if you're moving from this place of the soul, you will unlock blessings. The divine feminine loves to give abundance to people who deserve it. It's like the serpent. Serpent represents sexual energy, creative energy. It represents the Kundalini. That's why the serpent can either be the poison and the antidote. It just depends on how you transmute the energy. So you can turn poison into the antidote to give you freedom. It's literally the law of non-duality. So I'm going to leave it there because that's 20 minutes. Obviously, I'm going to get used to doing YouTube and whatever. I really do hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, like. I'm going to be doing shorts. Let me know in the comments, like anything, any questions that I can approach, because ultimately this is a brand new beginning for myself. And if you liked, thank you very much. See you later. Bye.